Hello, everybody, and welcome to Mill Park Education's Postgraduate Diploma in Accounting information session. It's my privilege to be not alone, but with many of my colleagues and our former students this evening talking to you about our PGDA, or more commonly or colloquially known as the CTA program that we have, which has been growing over the years, blossoming and servicing many, many students from where they find themselves all the way through to success into and beyond IC towards achieving their CASA designation. So it's wonderful for us to be talking to you all. If you're on the call, or maybe even watching the recording afterwards, you are surely wanting to know about our PGDA, which we're going to be talking a lot about in this session. And before we get going with it, I would like to introduce everybody that you're seeing on the screen here at the moment from our staff who are with me, together with myself and the students that we have. I'm sure you'd like to know who's who over here. So I'm Jonathan Dillon, the head of the School of Professional Accounting at Mill Park Education. Together with me is Tracy Krause, head of department of our postgraduate programs within the school. And then Shamiz Naidu, who is our head of student experience and operations within the school. Welcome to them. Then also on staff within the school, Tariq Khan, who's a junior lecturer within our corporate governance and auditing team, also a former student and alumni of Mill Park Education. So great to have you with us, Tariq. And then Bongani, welcome. It's good to have you with us as well, an academic trainee within our school. This here, am I right? You're in FREP? I think that's right. You're in the FREP team, so financial reporting team that you're in. So that covers the staff. And then we have the stars who are really with us. From Luandu to Lamari to Doria, the three of you who have recently come through our P24S cohort, completed your PGDA studies with us and on the call. So Lamari, I know you worked and studied with us. You work remotely and then you studied at the same time while working in the Netherlands remotely and studying your PGDA with us. Doria, you've been with us on a journey from our bridging program to doing PGDA over on a half workload basis. So I'm sure everybody's also keen to hear from you. And Lwandu, you're also with our P24S cohort, but you not only have completed your PGDA with us, you're going to start as an assistant lecturer and working within our team as well. So you're also going into FREP. So you and Bongani are going to be working quite closely and nicely together. And it's wonderful having you guys all on the call. So yeah, just great to be talking to you all. And without further ado, I want to kick off the discussions. So I'm firstly going to bring Tracy Krause into the mix as the head of department for our PGDA program, a department that doesn't only have the PGDA program, but also has our bridging program. Now, the focus of the discussion is going to be on the PGDA. There may be those of you on the call who also want to know more about our bridging. We are going to have another webinar dedicated to our bridging program. So we'll touch here and there on bridging a little bit. And Doria, I know you did bridging before you came into our PGDA. Our bridging is also AGA accredited, which is great. Psycho recognition that we have over there. But the focus of the discussion is our PGDA program. So Trace, why don't you tell us about the structure of the program? I'm sure there's a lot of questions. So before the questions start coming through in the chat, tell us about why it's a structured and there's goodness in the structured online PGDA program that we have.
Yeah, sure, Jonathan. Welcome, everyone. It's lovely to be here this evening. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, I've been with the CA Connect team that has now merged into Mill Park for a long time. And it's been wonderful to walk the journey as we've built this program and designed it over the years. And as Jonathan mentioned, the intention is really to provide structure with flexibility. So we're trying to offer you, and I think we have built a product where we are able to offer you a PGDA that fits around your life. So whether you are a full-time student or a working student, you get the same offering, you get the same quality and the same opportunity to qualify for IAC and progress in your career to become a chartered accountant. As Jonathan mentioned, we are accredited by SAICA. We have the largest number of candidates going to IAC each sitting. And we're very proud of the difference that we're making in the space to help chartered accountants qualify. The ways that we are doing that. So our program is fully online, meaning that you can engage with it from all over the country or even elsewhere. We've had students around the world over the years, and you are able to engage with the material and the learning material in a structured journey in a time frame that works for you. Now, we all know that PGDA is quite daunting. It's a lot of work. And as much as we make available and we work with it, it is still going to be hard and it's still going to require a lot of time. And so, what we're trying to construct is something where you can find that time at the right time for you. So, whether that's evenings and weekends, if you say have a full time job during the week, you can do it that way. Or if you are a full time student, you can do it at whatever time suits you. However, I want to really highlight that there are two workload options. There's a full workload and a half workload option. So the full workload option requires you to have 40 hours per week to dedicate to your studies for the duration, the 12-month program that we have for the PGDA. If that is a bit too much to ask, and for many students who have not only work but also other commitments, finding 40 hours on top of a full-time job is a lot. I mean, there are many students who do it. So I'm not going to tell you it can't be done because I've seen it done many, many times. But if you feel like that's actually not going to work with your life, then the half workload option is there, and it requires you to have 20 hours consistently each week in the PGDA. It does mean that you do the PGDA over 2 years, but you will still qualify for IAC at the end, and it may just be a much more sustainable path to take. And what I really want to highlight about the half workload option, because I think it's a hidden gem in terms of our offering, is that it's not about an academic strength choice. So sometimes students think, if I'm not strong academically, I should do half workload. Well, potentially, it might be something to consider, but actually the half workload is about how much time you have available each week. If you have 40 hours and the full workload is for you. If you don't have 40 hours, then consider the half workload. And Doria, I really want to bring you in here because you've done both our bridging and our PGDA on the half workload. And guys, I want to point out Doria finished top of the cohort when she wrote her exams now in April. And so she's outperformed and super well, but was a half workload student. And so really just to really highlight the fact that being on the half workload is not about academic strength, it's about time available. Dory, maybe share a little bit about your experience on half workload and what made you decide to go that route rather than going for full workload.
Sure. Good evening, everyone. So, yeah, I only decided to first do PGDA in my mid 30s, so 2022. And my BAc degree I only finished in 2009. So it was quite a gap in my accounting study. So I had to do the breaching program, and the breaching, for anyone that needs to do that, don't be discouraged in thinking that it's now going to be taking longer. There's really value in it. It really lays a very good foundation for PGDA. Yeah, so due to my very busy work schedule, I wasn't able to fit in 40 hours study time in a week. So I did the bridging over a year. So the half workload, and then also PGDI I did over 2 years. So the first year I did the corporate governance and auditing and math, and then spending 20 hours a week. And then the second year was financial reporting and taxation. But still, even though you are on the half workload, it's very important to have a good, in my case, I worked out a study program to ensure that each day I did my bit, try to get in at least 2 hours a day. And then on weekends, I would spend the rest to catch up on lessons that I couldn't get to. So it's definitely not less work, and you definitely need to have a dedicated plan and stick to it. Yeah, from my side.
Awesome.
No,
Thanks
that
for
yeah, that's great, Doria. I was just it's such an important thing that you highlight there, Trace. This thing of that it's not an academic decision like a higher grade, standard grade type of decision, the
sharing.
half workload, full workload. And often what we find um, is that PGDA becomes a stumbling block for many students, and they often need to repeat PGDA, and the bridging that you highlight over there, Doria, is that the very important thing, and it's not because PGDA is beyond people. It's just that PGDA is so demanding, and there's so much you have to get on top of and go through, and we all recognize that. So at Millpark, we're not saying we're making the PGDA easier for you. We're making the PGDA manageable for you, how we package it, how we put support around it, how we even give this optionality of, say, let's do half workload versus full workload. And that half workload, full workload is a decision around how much time do you have, and getting it over maybe a longer period, or even like you highlight there, doing bridging to make sure you've got a good foundation before going into PGDA. So thank you for sharing, and well done on your achievement.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe some other benefits just to mention about half workload, if you're interested. We have seen that students who go through the half workload program tend to be more successful on the program. And I think that's because you've got a longer time to engage with the material. And it really, when you do half workload, as Joy mentioned, you do corporate governance and auditing and management accounting and finance in your first year. And you need to pass those to progress to the second year. But then you also write the exams for those two subjects at the end of the second year when you write all four. But CGAU and math are very important for IAC, and I think they set students up really well to have kind of digested that content for 2 years before you go into IAC. And so looking into how half workload students perform in IAC, I think they're also in a very good place. And the other consideration that I do want to put on the table is that it can also be more financially feasible to do half workload. If you are finding that the full workload program is maybe just too expensive, the half workload program also splits the cost over 2 years. So it's another reason to consider potentially going that route. All right, so whether you decide to do full workload or half workload, there are some similarities as to how the program works. And I just want to give you a general idea of that so you have a sense of what to expect. We don't just give you all the material at once. That can be quite overwhelming. As Jonathan's mentioned, it's a lot to get through. So we have a structured program where material is released every Friday, and you have a week to work through it in your own time. As we said, that could be 10 p.m. on a Wednesday. It could be 2 o'clock on a Thursday afternoon, whatever time works for you. The material is there. And it's not simply, here's a video, here's a PDF. It's a guided journey where we take you through. Let's have a short video about a concept. Then let's maybe look at something from one of the textbooks or the acts about it. Then attempt a small lesson example. And we really guide you through that active learning journey as you go through. You have a week for each of the modules. And then the week after that, there's a synchronous, meaning a live, much like this session. There's a live session where you get to talk with the academics and the subject about the topic, and to ask questions and hear about some aspect of that, whether it's exam technique or looking at a question or highlighting some important concepts or common problems. And that really helps you feel connected. We are trying to create a community of connection while you're going through it. So although you might be studying remotely and not know anyone in person who is studying the same program with you, we want you to feel like you are connected to the community of students who are working through this, that there's a real person on the other side of your email or your query. And so in addition to the material, which we've really tried to make clear and to offer lots of resources to you, there are also additional support options that help you both from an academics perspective and from a psychosocial perspective. I'll let Shamiz talk to the psychosocial perspective because she oversees our team of student success and wellness advisors, and maybe then I'll expand a little bit more on the academic support that we give. So Shamiz, do you want to come in there quickly and talk about what the SWAN team does?
Hi, Tracy. Yeah, sure. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. And yeah, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Like Tracy said, we're really wanting to build a community, and that means people getting back to your queries, people being there to support you on your journey from start to end. And the teams that I have are the operations teams and the student support and wellness advisors. And the student support and wellness advisors are critical in your journey because we speak about the academic support, but there's also the emotional, the social aspect of your journey with us. So the well-being of the students is really important, and we're passionate about that. We really pride ourselves on the support that we offer all of our students. And I want to touch on some of the support options that we do have. So we have consultations. So these are one-on-one consultations that you can get with the student success and wellness advisor. And in those sessions, they do provide students with guidance and support and this support goes beyond your academic needs. And this caters then to all of your overall well-being on our programs. And then we have things called success and wellness sessions. So these sessions are really meant to assist you in your personal growth and development. We have on a Friday, we have a drop-in session. That's where none of the lecturers or any other staff are allowed to be there. It's really just an open space for the students to come and connect. And it really, really is something that all our students look forward to. So in these wellness sessions, the advisors provide our students with the tools and the resources to maintain a positive mindset. They help you with things like planning your time, managing your studies according to your unique lifestyle. So we've spoken a little bit about the half workload and the full workload, but how does it fit into your life? And how do you plan to get that time in? But also it's important that you maintain your life outside of that. So we help you with that. Then we have study groups. So if you would like to join a study group, so we also have Come Study With Me, and that is an open room basically where students come in and they are all working together, working online, not talking to each other, but the chat is open. And sometimes you just want to know that somebody else is out there doing their studies at the same time as you, because like Tracy said, it can be a really lonely place sometimes. So it's really, really important for us to help you stay connected with each other, help you stay connected with your lecturers and with the support teams that we have. And one of the things that it works well in our space are student representatives. And basically this is a voice for all of the students. And what student reps do is they're able to bring matters to the program level team, and then we meet with them, and then they can in turn then go back and provide feedback to the rest of the student body. So as you can see, there is a wide range of support. Our operations teams are also there to assist you with, we have a help desk, and they respond to queries on that side. And turnaround time is a quick turnaround time, and we make sure that you have access to our learner management systems, that you are online, that you know where to go, what time your classes are, where you can find recordings of your classes, and all of those things. So basically we're really there to walk this journey with you. And I think we've got really good feedback on our support systems, and that's something we're really passionate about. And I think we pride ourselves as an institution, as the School of Professional Accounting, for the psychosocial support that we offer our students, because it really is essential as it impacts your ability to learn, as well as to engage and succeed in an academic environment. So in our school, it's not only the academic part of it, but we also here, myself with my teams, and we're here to be with you and make sure that you are coping with the choices that you've made, whether it's on full workload or half workload. And yeah, we offer these before exams. We do check-ins to make sure, like sessions, to make sure that you're all ready to write, whether you choose to write online or whether you choose to write at a venue. And that's another aspect of that I'm sure we'll touch on a bit later. But we really want to set you up for success. So when you do come in, and we understand that the online space can be a scary one, whether it's if you're working alone, or if you not sure if you have the correct connectivity, or if you'll experience any of those issues, we're here to support you with that. And
100%,
your
Shanice.
mental, say again.
100%. I love
Yeah,
what you said. There's like so our slogan, like, what do we say at Mill Park? We've got you, you've got
you're
this.
good at,
And
yeah,
that's
and
exactly
yeah.
what, yeah,
What it is. And your mental well-being is really, really important to us. And
so
that's why our
important.
team of support and development and wellness advisors are here. And yeah, we really hope that that's something that we know that adds value to your journey.
It does. You know,
So,
Shamiz, as you're talking now, I'm so reminded of even
yeah,
this weekend on LinkedIn, I saw a student post and
yeah,
say that thing, come study with me session, for example,
yes,
was
yes,
just a game changer for them in terms of knowing that when they wake up at 4 in the morning, they can
this,
connect with other students who are also studying.
exactly. Yeah,
And what you're also highlighting here, and it came through as Tracy was talking as well, is this thing of we're not just an online program and you're there and you need to connect and then study. It,
yeah,
we try and make it as I was in a meeting today with Andrew Horsful, our CEO, just talking again about this thing of although we're an online university, we try and see how, as best possible, we can ensure that it feels like you're at a
you're
contact
connected.
university, you're in contact, you're
Yeah,
connected
yeah,
with your fellow students. So,
yeah.
Lamari, Doria, and Lwandu, did you guys, I mean, I'd love to hear from you or any of you in terms of, and even Bongani, how did you feel in contact? Or do you feel isolated when studying? What is your feeling and experience when you studied with us?
Yes, Jonathan, I would add there, because it does feel sometimes isolated. You are on your own. You don't have to go to a class like what I did when I did my degree. But we have the application Viva Engage, on which we can, for example, ask your questions, and there are always somebody answering your question. And there's also a lecturer or assistant that also helps out with those questions. So it's not that you're on your own. I never felt like I struggle or I don't know what to do. There's always somebody to help, and you can easily reach out to anybody. They are more than willing to help, and it's really a mind thing. This study, you have to have
Yeah.
your head in the right place, and it
Mm.
doesn't stay there.
Yeah,
So, as Shamiz said as well, it's so necessary to reach out to all the social groups or a lecturer or assistant just to
Mhm.
keep you in that pace. I
yeah,
And I
must
know
say that.
even the students have their own WhatsApp groups. You guys stay
Yes.
connected in that. And we do as much as we can in terms of, like you mentioned, the Viva Engage community. There's consults that you guys can book, and whether it's on the academic front or the psychosocial support. There's the live sessions, the weekly live sessions where you can interact with your fellow students. There's the help desk where you can pop your questions. So whether it's live, you immediately, you want to talk to somebody. Sometimes that is the best. Sometimes it's, I'm going to pop my query now and I'm happy to wait for a little
yeah,
while to get feedback. What we do at Mill Park is we endeavor to get back to students between 24 and 48 hours. Generally, I mean, Luandu, what is your experience? If you ask, did you reach out to consults, queries, and that? Did you have to wait long, or did you get quick answers?
I did reach out on Viva Engage. I got queries quickly. I didn't wait for long. I attended a few consultations and I was able to find consults, but I didn't really attend a lot of them. But the ones that I did attend, they were quite helpful.
Okay.
I
No,
just want to
great. I
say,
mean,
sorry,
yeah,
Jonathan,
please.
on Viewer Engage as well, it's also really lovely to see students helping each other, and that's
That's
where
the
the community
community.
comes
Yeah.
together. So Lanmarie and Luanda have spoken about Viva Engage, and that's one of the platforms we use. But a lot of the time, students ask questions, and other students respond to that before we can even get there. So that's really lovely to see, and I'm glad to hear that you guys felt supported in your journey.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it is. I want to juxtapose here, Shamiz, you brought the psychosocial, and we're very focused, and we even have mentors, past students that mentor current students. And even Doria, Lamri, and Luanda, you guys being here, we don't struggle to find students wanting to talk about the program and that. Sometimes students are just so happy that they finish their studies, like, okay, cool, I want to go and work and get on with my life. And then we're so appreciative of our students' continued involvement in the program. Bongani, even yourself, being a former student of mine. So I want to actually bring quickly Bongani and Tariq into the mix here, because what I'd like to chat about is the academic side of it, the academic support. Because what we really believe is a valuable part of our program and offering and support to our students is that our subjects are in teams. So Tariq, you part of the corporate governance auditing team. Bongani, you working in the financial reporting team at the moment. And it's not like Tariq, hey, you take care of computer controls, or Bongani, you take care of impairments or something, and the students can consult with anybody on a subject team. And all of our academics, it's actually an expectation for all of our academics to be on top of the whole syllabus and everything. And the beauty of that is when somebody consults with you, Bongani, about impairments, you're not only thinking impairments because you're the impairments expert, you're thinking, how does impairments work with the link to a deferred tax? How does it work with investment property? Or, holistically, you're connecting it within the financial reporting discipline, or Tariq, yourself within corporate governance and auditing. So maybe, Tariq, what's your experience of working in a subject team of academics, and you having been a student as well? What do you see as the benefit of that on your learning journey, and now also working in the team?
Yeah, so Jonathan, just to add on to what you said, I think now working as a lecturer, I think, just seeing that, our academics in team FRAP, team math, tax, and CGAU, I think, there's such a wealth of knowledge among each and every one of us that you find in the team. And if we look at the subject matter like CGAU, you can't expect to only know, let's say, for example, control testing or substantive audit procedures, because CGA is such a subject where it's a building block from one topic to the next, to the next, to the next. So you can't, as a lecturer, only know, let's say, for example, control testing or substantive audit procedures. You have to know the auditing process from, let's say, for example, pre-engagement activities right up until the concluding phase. So when we look at the lecturers at Milpark, you'll find that they have knowledge of a wide variety of subject matter. And because you'll find that our PGDA program is so integrated, you'll find that, let's say, for example, in our CGAU team, not only do we know and have a wealth of experience in terms of CGAU, but we have a wealth of experience in terms of tax, FRAP, and math as well. So you'll find that when we are discussing things, and you find that the foundation of CGAU, for example, is actually FRAP, and you actually knowing your IAS standards, knowing your IFRS as well. So us as lecturers, we can't only focus on one topic and specialize only in one topic. We have to specialize in everything and know everything very, very well. So me as a student, consulting with the lecturers during my time, it was actually amazing and fascinating to see how, for example, I consult with a CGAU lecturer, and this lecturer knew stuff about FREP, knew stuff about text, knew stuff about math. So I think, when students are, consulting, and as they go on this learning journey of PGDA, they'll find that lecturers, as well as being compassionate to their learning journey, they bring a great amount of knowledge in their learning journey as well. So lecturers at Milpark are very, very experienced and have a wealth of knowledge.
No, great. Thanks, Tariq. And I mean, we value you being on the team as well. And at the moment, you're a junior lecturer, and we love, Trace, we love seeing our own, we call it growing our own timber. Those staff that have come through our program, because the students come through our program and our staff can relate even more so to those students. So in a sense, being a CA, teaching CAs, and I mean, that's an important point, is it's CAs teaching CAs over here. And in the subject teams, it's not like you consult with somebody junior, that you can consult with whoever you want, and you're consulting with people who are in the know, who care about you. And you even mentioned this thing of passionate about what they do. And when you've come through the program, I'm pretty sure you've been able to relate to where students find themselves in terms of juggling all the responsibilities of life, working, studying. So it's not only from an academic, am I right? I don't want to misrepresent you, but when you've consulted with students, you're not only able to support them academically, but to an extent, you're also able to come alongside them and say, I can relate to where you find yourself. I was in this position. You can get through this, and you can cast hope, etc.
Definitely, Jonathan. I think, and I always say, and I think this is what differentiates Milpark from other institutes, with all due respect. I think, Milpark, and I always say this to myself, that, Milpark gave me a new lease on life, as a person that one day, at one stage in my life, actually thought that, what, I would never become a chartered accountant. My life had progressed to such an extent that to go back to a residential university was almost impossible now, to go and sit in a lecture room from, let's say, 8 o'clock until 2 or 3 o'clock, right? It was almost impossible for me, given where I found myself at some time in my life. So when I heard about Milpark, and I heard about everything that they were offering, and I think the important thing about Milpark is that, they made they made their studies and their program fit into your life, and I think that is very, very important. Because, for example, like, I'm a husband, I'm a father, and I'm a working person as well. Yet I still wanted to become a chartered accountant. And Milpark was able to cater for each and every need of mine. So, yes, with me being able to study, I could still be a father, I could still be a husband, I could still be a working person. And this is why I say Milpark actually gave me a lease on life, because I had this dream that I lost of becoming a chartered accountant. And when I heard that Milpark actually offered this online program, it actually renewed that hope in me that one day, God willing, I could also qualify as a chartered accountant. And I did it. I studied the bridging course as well, Jonathan. I did it on the half workload, and while, being a husband, being a father, and working as well. I also did a PGDA through Milpark, and, thank you to Milpark, I happened to become a CJAU junior lecturer. And,
And
one
that's
of
not
the
where it's going to end. You're a junior lecturer now. There's more for you.
yeah, but this is why, like, one of the reasons why I also want to become a lecturer, so that we as an institute can also help others who found themselves in a similar situation like myself, where their hopes and dreams of becoming a chartered accountant also faded away. We want to give those types of people that reignite that hope in them as well, and this is what differentiates our institute as well. We come down to the level of those students and tell them, because, I mean, taking me, for example, I was never that model student, for example, who just passed all of the my years and got straight distinctions at it. No, no, it was never like that with me. A lot of us, we struggle through life, struggle to get through this PGDA. And us at Mill Park, we come down to the level of those everyday people who are also struggling to pass this PGDA course. And we walk with you on this journey. It's not a matter of us just giving you the material and just saying, okay, go and study. No, no, it doesn't work like that.
Yes.
We walk with you on this journey. That's why you'll find that in our consults, yes, we deal a lot with the technical matters of, let's say, for example, CGAU, but we also ask about your well-being. We ask about your mental well-being. How are you doing? Are you coping? We're there also to see that you are doing well so that you can realize your dream of becoming a chartered accountant, God willing, one day. So that's what we mean by all of us as at Milpark Institute, we have this level of compassion where we don't want to isolate you. We don't want to give you the work, right? And then we say, go and study. No, no, no.
Yeah.
We give you the work, but then we also tell you, we are here with you. We are walking with you on this journey. Yes, it's not going to be easy.
You know what, Tariq? I want to have a whole another live session just dedicated to you talking because I'm just loving listening to you. There's other bases we need to cover, but thank you so much for
Yeah.
sharing that because your journey is
Mm.
not, it's not a unique one that this is, oh, okay, it's only Tariq. And you are one of what many, you're just one of what many of our students are saying.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I said, the journey hasn't ended for you. There's so much more. And we at Mill Park, our strategy and vision is this whole thing of unlocking human potential. And that's what we are about, is
That's
about
it.
finding people where they are and then extending a hand and saying, okay, let's help you get to where you want to be.
Yes.
And wherever we can improve our program, we continually are also looking at we're talking about things in this webinar that wasn't there 2 years ago because we've listened to students, we've improved, and we evolve as we go. And on that note as well, we fully aligned with the CA of the Future Competency Framework. We are continually still evolving our program. There's the building in of more digital skills, public sector, and those things that Psycho are wanting to focus more and more on. And we have a very strong relationship with Psycho. We've had recent meetings with them where they are very pleased with what we're doing. We're important to them because of our size and our growth that we're experiencing as well. 1 in 5 passes in the most recent IAC results that were released were from Mill Park alumni. So 1 in 5, if you have to extrapolate that, just take that moment going forward, 1 in 5 CAs from that slice over there are from Mill Park Education. We're very proud of it, but we take that very seriously as well to say, okay, we're going to do this thing of education good and proper to make sure that those CAs are value adding in their role and successful going forward. Bongani, come in here quickly. I want to bring you into the discussion because you are an academic trainee within us. Talk a little bit to, because I want to just talk a bit more, and Trace, you must also come in over here to the academic structure and support that we have. Tariq, you touched on it a little bit, that we were there to help. But it's this thing of, we have a program that is structured enough to help students, but flexible enough for you to be able to shape it around your life. So how did our program help you in this domain of it offering a structured academic support journey for you?
Thanks, Jonathan, for that. Hi, everybody. I think, Mopark really helped me being structured in the sense that I was working full time and studying full time. So it really helped me to achieve my weekly goals, every single week to say, okay, I need to be hitting my financial reporting goals, my management accounting goals, and auditing goals as well. So it really helped me just structure my life with my 40 hours at work and 40 hours that I need for PGDA. So I think that's how it really shaped me, and not just making it feel so overwhelming in the sense that it just gave me everything all at once to say, you would never really know where to gauge and where you're going to be by test one or always test three, for an example. You're kind of guided and walked through step by step to say, okay, we've been through this, here's some, practice packs, PQs, everything. You're really just given so much assistance and guidance to where you need to be. So that's how it helped me, for someone who loves to, he get overwhelmed quite easily. It really just assisted me to try and just walk in a structured manner and to follow a good roadmap. And your words going through the golden thread as well, Jonathan, just to help me there. So it really assisted me, just giving me a good structure.
No, great. And that thing of overwhelmed is a big thing for PGDA students. And back to what I said earlier, like, we are not saying this is an easy journey and come to Moore Park, we're going to make it easy or water it down. It is what it is, the syllabus and that, but we are going to make it easier by supporting and coming alongside our students. Trace, do you want to add anything in that domain of academic support?
Yeah, thanks, JD. And thanks to everyone who's also shared from their experience. I think just to summarize that, there's a lot of academic support beyond the material. So the material, as Bongani has pointed out, is designed to anticipate your needs. We've had thousands of students come through this program, and when they come in questions, we already answer it in the material, so that you don't have to ask a question to get a response. If we know something's unclear, we'll add further explanation or another video. If something changes, as JD said, we will improve the material, and we always take feedback from students to make it better. But beyond just what is available in the online modules that are released every week, there are other mechanisms for you to reach out. And we talk about a buffet of support. And a big part of that is the psychosocial support, because we recognize that your life doesn't go on hold when you do PGDA, and you're a person with emotions and other commitments and things going on. And those really need to be integrated into your experience. And that's why I think it's important to highlight that. But from an academic perspective, because yes, at the end of the year, you do have to write exams, and you do need to pass them to qualify to write IAC, which you also want to pass. So in the academic space, you are, as we've mentioned, able to book consultations, which can be small groups or one-on-one with academics. And it's a team of academics in each subject. And we offer those both during business hours and after hours every week, so that you can find a slot that works for you, so that you can talk to somebody in your subject and raise your questions. We have a Viva Engage platform, which has been mentioned. That's very similar to Facebook in terms of how it works. It's like a feed for each subject, and you can post a question there. And what's beautiful about that, as Shamiz mentioned, is that it's not just the academics who will respond to you. It may be somebody else who's worked through that question earlier the week and wrestled with the same thing and can help you. And then you may be able to find that students help students at times when perhaps the academics are not online, like over the weekend. We also have a help desk where you can send us an email, essentially, and a query that's going to be resolved in a more private forum if you don't feel comfortable posting that in a public forum like Viva Engage. And then I've mentioned the live sessions where you can go as a group. That's really directed by the academic. They come prepared with something to share. But there's also a chat, very much like the chat that this evening is on fire, where there are lots of questions coming through, and there's other staff answering those questions. And so, as has been highlighted, we want to create this community where you feel like you have somebody who you can reach out to. We never want you to feel like you're stuck and that you're alone, but rather that the people there to walk the journey with you, from senior academics who've been doing this for decades to students who have just gone through that experience and are either on our team or offering their time as mentors to encourage you and who are close to that experience and what you've gone through and can empathize really deeply, and maybe explain it in a way that those older millennials of us may not connect or resonate as much with you, if you are of a younger generation. Though, as Dora mentioned, there are many people in our student body who are not necessarily what you would consider in the classic university years. So yeah, that's really what I have to share. I really want to create some space. We're very open to the one thing I just wanted to mention, sorry, just there was some questions about structuring, and just to say, whether you choose a full workload or half workload, all of the subjects are covered across the year. So it's a 25-week academic year. You'll get a module, like a piece of the topic of the subject every week across the year, and then you write the exams at the end of the year. So we don't really have like a semester division. It's just, are you doing 2 subjects or are you doing 4 if you're doing the full workload? And then for those students who do the half workload in your second year, you still have access to the newest material for management, accounting, and finance and CGAE, which you did in your first year. And you're able to write the test, though you're not required to. And we really do give you lots of resources to help you stay fresh. So when you get to the end of the year, it's not like, oh my goodness, how do I remember what I did last year? But you've got it there with you, and you're able to write all 4 exams again, so you can qualify for IAC.
Thanks for that, Trace. I was also, and I think I want to bring in Doria here, because I'm sure everybody wants to hear a little bit from her as well. How does she end top of the class and do so well, and that? And I mean, part of it is Doria, and what you did, but then also maybe in what way did Mill Park help you to be successful, and to what we try and achieve, unlock the human potential that was there inside of you to perform so well. Do you feel we did anything? Was there anything at Mill Park that assisted you?
Yes, definitely. I mean, the support was just outstanding. I normally work through practice questions in my own time, and then I would reflect afterwards and try to see where did I go wrong, and really to understand, to learn from it. And I've normally reached out to the help desk and also Viva Engage, and yeah, they had a lot of patience with me. They came back if I still didn't understand something, wanted to check on something, and that's also what I did in my first year of PGDA. Management accounting was really a subject that I struggled with, so I used to make notes, because in the next year when I go through the same subject, to make sure I still remember where I went wrong and what I've learned. And then, especially in management accounting, these are these reflection videos, which I found very helpful in my second year. So it doesn't delve deep, into the specifics, but it gives you a very good overview of what was covered. And it's amazing how that just brings back the principles and refreshes your memory. But yeah, the support was really good. And then also on the emotional side, there were many times that I wrote a test and I really felt defeated. And then Milpark will just send out encouraging email afterwards, or even before the test or exam, where you really feel like you're overwhelmed. So definitely from an emotional perspective, and also the academics are really on top of it. They are really clued up and able to help you. You just need to reach out if you get stuck.
No, great. No, thank you. I mean, we try and do the best that we can do. I think at the end of the day, we also need the student to, engage in the material and that, and it's a two parties that come together for the ultimate success of the student. And to pick up on that, Doria, there was a question as well that I saw around half workload, and you mentioned the reflection videos that helped you, but it's not. And maybe just clarify this, because some may think half workload is, okay, you're doing 2 modules in the first year, which is financial reporting and taxation. Sorry, management accounting and corporate governance and auditing. In the first year, you get that done. And then it's not like you only do 2. You kind of registered for all 4, because you have to write all 4 at the end. So it's not only you doing 2 in your second half,
Yeah,
because you need to stay fresh and on top of it, but it's not like you're doing a half PGDA and then a full, in any case, PGDA.
yeah,
There's you fresh out of that, so you can talk to just what is
yes.
the reality of that.
So in the second year, I did spend, look, prep and tax. So I've got a very strong tax background, so I spent less time on taxation, but still there were areas that I don't work with regularly, so I also had to spend. So I would say each week I try to slot in like just a bit of time to go through an old math question and to work through an old audit question, just one or two, just covering all the subjects, all the topics for the year. And then student vacations, there were a few where if there's no new content, that I would spend more time on specifically management accounting. And then before the exam, I made sure that I worked through like my old corporate governance exam paper. And it's actually quite interesting how the information is in your head. And if you just work again through it, you realize, because I know that was a big concern for me, especially before the exam as well. I still felt that maybe I should have done more, but it's really astonishing how the information is there. And if you just work through a few questions, you you pick up on it. So I don't think it should be that big of a concern.
Yeah, and it's just, I guess, those that are on the call understanding what the difference is and clarifying, because there's a lot of misconceptions with anything. There's a lot of misconception. That's what this webinar is about, is just ensuring that there's a good understanding of what our programs are about. What you've touched on over there as well is important, and we really focus on this, is to ensure that students don't put the burden of perfection on them. And we get them to realize that it's not about being perfect. It's about being competent, and focus on competence, understand the principles and the ability to apply the principles. And Doria, what you mentioned there is this thing of believing in yourself. So not doubting yourself. And we really try and work hard on, because a lot of times students don't get over the finish line because of a lack of belief, a lack of confidence. I often used to say to students in live sessions, when I still took live sessions for math, was this thing of, yes, the knowledge will get you there, but at the end of the day, it's often that thing of confidence that's going to be the difference between you passing or not passing on a given exam day, and believing in yourself. Yeah. So thank you for sharing on that. I want to bring Lwandu in over here. Lwandu, it's lovely that you've chosen to join our FREP team. Bongani can't wait. I just see every time I mention your name, his smile just gets bigger over there. So he's waiting for you to join the financial reporting team soon. I wanted to ask you, why would you say to those who are considering studying at Milpark, why should they come to Milpark? What made it different for you? In what way did Milpark support you, whether it's academically or on the non-academic side, to help you to conquer PhDI?
Okay. So I have attempted PGDA. It's like Milpark is the third institution that I've attempted PGDA in. And what is different about Milpark, I've done another distance learning, is the structure of the program, is that they support you, you have lessons, and the lessons are not, don't get them at the beginning of the unit, a unit or term. We call a term like a unit. So you don't get all the information at the beginning of the term. You just get for this week. And it's easier to feel some sort of accomplishment if you finish revenue this week and then you move on to financial instrument this week. I like that it's very structured. I get overwhelmed, as Bongani has said. I get very overwhelmed fast, but because it's structured, it really helped me. Also, the lecturers, they are very well informed. I don't know, like they make the difficult concept, they explain them very well. Like I was struggling with groups in my other attempts, but then I was like, I'll just erase all the group knowledge that I have. And I was able to start from the beginning. I remember I learned the new analysis of equity, and Tracy took me through it step by step, step by step. And I was able to understand. And I had all the gaps that I had, they were just addressed very nicely. And not that because she's here, but I really enjoyed Tracy's lessons, and how she speaks is just very comforting. I'll just be during the lessons. And also the Mac Mac has been a nightmare for me, but the Mac lecturers, they are so helpful. We'll have the reflection videos where they will break down everything that we've learned in the lessons. And also, before test, we'll have like an open consultation. The MEC lecturers really went above and beyond. So that really helped me to pass my PGDA. Also, another thing that I liked is that there is no assumed knowledge. So they start from the beginning. PPE will start from the beginning and work your way through because we can't assume that you learned everything in undergrad because most of us we did undergrad maybe many years ago, or maybe we just didn't get that topic. So they will explain it to you, you will have the basics, and then you will be able to learn the new PGDA work there. Thank you.
Excellent, Luana. I'm so glad that you shared that. And even that and well done for you with not giving up on your dreams and persevering. And oftentimes that is also the difference between getting through PGDA versus not making it. It's just that ability to persevere. And what you also just shared around the support that you had, the structure. Did you write online or at a venue when you wrote your assessments?
I wrote at a venue, all tests and exams.
So you wrote at a venue, and I know many students also choose to write online. So we've got venues throughout the country, just in case there's wondering about that. I think it's over 40 venues that we have around the country, in Namibia, and that as well, where there's the option to write at a venue. And it's wonderful also, Wonder, that you're joining our team, and you'll be able to also be one of those who come alongside some of the students or potential students that are on this call and help them. And the very important point that you raised there, which is it's super important, is that we don't assume students come from any particular undergrad or institution. And it's not only that thing of there's likely a gap in the studies, but we don't know where a student comes from. And therefore, we need to go back to basics and say, okay, let's take it from the bottom. Let's build it up. Let's get your understanding correct. So prospective students that are looking to come to Milpark can know that they'll be guaranteed to be supported. And that's why we say from where you are to where you need to be. And we actually encourage students to do exactly what you did, Owandu, is to abandon previous thinking or potential crutches that you've had to try and support and trust us. And if you can trust us, you're putting your trust in a good place, and we will take you to where hopefully you will be flying one day in whatever direction you want to go as a CA and beyond. So looking forward to having all of those on the call here. Join us on our website. Is all of our entry requirements. Trace, I'll bring you back here, and everybody can really come onto stage. I want to see if there's anything that anybody wants to say as we move towards closing. I wanted to say that at the end of the day, we will give you all you need for success. You need to ensure that you have the time to study, and time is a consideration between half workload and full workload as well. If you can make the time and you can be disciplined to obviously, it's ABC, apply bum to chair where you need to put in the study time, you'll be successful. But there's one other thing you need to add to that. If you can also commit to believing in yourself and being confident in your own ability. If you can do those things, make the time and be disciplined with the ABC and believe in yourself, I have no doubt that if you come to Milpark, we'll be your partner in you realizing your dreams. So Trace, Shamiz, Lamari, Doria, Wandu, Tariq, Bongani, any closing words?
Yeah, if I can quickly just jump in, Jonathan, just to mention, and to be very clear, the entrance requirements for our PGDA are that you have a psycho accredited undergraduate qualification that you received in the last 3 years. If it's been longer than that since you got your qualification, then you'd be a good candidate for our bridging program. So come back for our next webinar about that. Is that the 26th of June?
26th of
26th of
June.
June. We'll be
Bridging
talking
webinar.
specifically about bridging if you're interested. And our program begins on the 7th of July. We have an O week that spends a lot of time just orienting you how to do online learning, what are your options, how does this whole thing work. So that starts for both our bridging and our PGDA programs on the 7th of July. So I'd really encourage you to get yourself registered and on the platforms by that date. The actual work starts on the 14th of July. And so it's lovely just to have that week to settle in to find your feet. And any other information you're looking for, there's a lot available on our website. So please have a look there or feel free to reach out to us. helpdesk.milpark.ac.za if you want to drop us a query, and our team will be happy to get back to you.
Great. Thank you so much, Tracy. And thank you to everybody. It's always wonderful talking to our audience, although we can't see them. We hope that they've also enjoyed seeing us and the discussion. Visit our website, reach out to us. As we say at Milpark, we've got you on this journey towards achieving your CASA. Thank you, everyone.